Hey, party people, I'm at Kathleen's Sewing Factory. Ta-da! Look, so many machines, all the machines. It's like sewing machine born in here. Brown chicken, brown cow. Bow, bow. Look at all these machines. You walk in the front door and boom, you have the room with all the sewing machines. And they're set up on this modular system. You see how they're all plugged into that rod hanging from the ceiling there? Well, all the sewing machines are on these tables with wheels. And Kathleen has a bunch more sewing machines in her back storage. And if they need to replace one with the ones in storage, they just unplug from that rod, wheel the machine out, and replace it with the one they need that is currently in storage. And yeah, so she has cool, wonderful vintage machines like this one that she updated with a servo and all the modern trimmings. There's a close-up of their modular system. You know, she has all different kinds of machines for different kinds of projects. Leather walking foot machines and buttonholers and pocket makers. And here's a cover stitch. And sometimes they don't need a cover stitch, but they need more single needles, whatever, whatever, whatever. There's so many different kinds of machines, right? It's a really efficient, easy, stress-free way to rotate out the machines and maximize the space that they have available. Here's the thing nobody talks about, but is actually quite important. All these rolling carts. These rolling carts are lined in fabric and they carry projects and wheel them around the factory. And it's kind of like the cookie sheets that you see in my studio. It's a way of organizing projects and keeping things off the floor, keeping things neat and clean and organized. It's those small, necessary things that not everyone thinks about. And then you buy one, you buy three, you think it's enough, and then you buy six, and then you think it's enough. Look at these gorgeous machines. This one's digitized. This was an Adler. And Kathleen has a fondness for these. I mean, she doesn't have any machines in here that she doesn't like, respect, think is awesome. I mean, she has decades of experience working with different machines. She knows what she likes. She knows what works. Here's a bobbin winder. I want one so bad because I have a single needle and I hate stopping mid-project to wind bobbins. A little bit makes me crazy. Because then you have to like rethread, and the kind of machine I have to clip the thread and rethread after I wind the bobbins, and you never know how many bobbins you're gonna go through. Whatever. Anyway, I want the bobbin winder, all right? And here is Kathleen's office behind the sewing machine room. This is for digitizing patterns. You can see some of the dot paper taped up on there. And a marker maker printer with giant rolls of paper and CDs, very important. Printer, necessary office stuff. Here's a dot matrix printer. How many of you know what this is? Yeah, the fashion industry has some outdated technology that we still use. There's Kathleen at her desk trying to ignore me as I walk around with my gimbal. She has all the best toys. Dress forms. And here's the kitchen. That's my tripod for the interview that I'm going to shoot later that I've already posted, so you've probably already seen them. If you haven't, I'll post the link somewhere. Thread cones, millions of thread cones, all these books. I'm jealous of anyone who has any fashion books that I don't own. Kathleen made cinnamon rolls this morning. Back room with the bathrooms and the storage closets. Here's a little half mannequin dress form. laundry. And here's the cutting room with miles and miles and miles of table. I'm so jealous. I have one of these sections. If you watch my studio tour video, I'll post a link somewhere. I have one section, which is 6 by 8 feet. It's bigger than my bed. And yeah, it's the one I have. It is exactly like this one, the kind that you will see in a proper cutting and sewing facility. And of course, you know, Kathleen runs production, so she needs way more table space than I do. Here are one of those electric knives that scare the bejesus out of me. And because it scares the bejesus out of me, I'm fairly certain that Kathleen will make me do some cutting the next time I visit to get over my fear. Extra tables, whiteboards. Look at all those rulers on the left. Super long, giant, heavy, doubles as paperweights, fabric weights. Project notes on the whiteboard, extra machines that are either on their way to storage or about to be put into the sewing room. You see they're all on these tables with wheels, so the ladies can just wheel them around however they please. Clothing racks. Every factory needs a million clothing racks. I found these paintings really cool. I don't know what they're all about, but I thought they were all kind of awesome. And the big presser, not trained, don't touch. Yeah, this will burn you. So if you don't know how to use one of these, learn before you do. I used to have one of these. I don't really need one anymore. I used to do a lot more cutting and sewing back when I had the industrial iron, steam iron. But now that I don't, I can't really justify the expense. I think this is a Marrow pearl stitch machine. Here's Kathleen. They are spreading out some, I think, satin. Here are some fabric weights, these metal rods with handles. Here's the marker for a children's wear line that they're working on. And so they've laid out several layers of the satin. It's a small run. So they're taking these very wide mouth staplers and stapling the marker to the fabric, all the layers together, and putting down fabric weights everywhere and then cutting them out carefully. Chalking around each pattern paste doesn't work with markers like it does with oak tech patterns, and that's really time consuming. And using silk pins, also super time consuming and makes little bumps in the fabric. So wide mouth stapler, fabric weights are the way to go. And this is a machine that makes Welt Pockets.
Yeah, that's
This is so dope. What the hell?
Yeah, it's really old. People are going to go, dang. But hey, we have one.
That's cool.
Yeah. So, oh, here's some more. And I just washed this because I wanted to see how well it washed, how well those stitches locked, and they do awesome. So, and this other machine.
That looks like it could be hand sewing.
I know. And we also see this machine? I mean, it's an 84-year-old machine, but we put it on the new table frame, the new motor, so it's been completely updated. So it's great. We've got this ancient machine, and this is another one that we've updated.
Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
80-something years old?
One's 83 years old, the other one's 84.
And it does this kind of stitch?
This one does that, and that's all it does.
Whoa.
Yeah. Isn't that cool?
Whoa.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. I want these machines. They've been contract sewing machine manufacturers, contractors for like 50 years, so they make machines for everybody.
This is a buttonholer.
Yeah.
So does this make all kinds of buttonholes?
Yeah.
Like keyhole and shirt buttonholes?
It makes all kinds.
Oh, dope.
Yeah. And so we have the feed rail in here. See? This is actually set up to...
And then you can take it to the main sewing room.
Yeah. Yeah, but this is sewing line 2 and sewing line 3 before it got all.
Oh, okay.
So these are actually set up for backup sewing rooms.